It's Monday, March 11th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On Barnstable Today, we pull out this week's calendar and look at all the events at the Barnstable Senior Center and settle in for the 6th episode of Bug Buzz. Now for a look at municipal news and notes. Vineyard Wind is scheduled to hold a public forum in Barnstable this Tuesday evening, March 12th, at Barnstable Town Hall in the second floor hearing room. A brief 15-minute presentation is set to begin at 6:30 p.m., followed by a question and answer session. Learn about the Vineyard Wind project, construction plans between Covels Beach and Independence Park, and the host community agreement between the offshore wind developer and the town. The presentation will cover all aspects of the project in Barnstable, including transmission lines and connecting to the grid substation on Independence Drive. Classes, lectures, ukuleles, and the ever-popular St. Patrick's Feast. Barnstable Senior Center has it all this week. Maddie Noonan dropped by the studio with all the delicious and musical details. Activities have just sprung wide open at the Senior Center. With me today, Madeline Noonan. Maddie, how are you?
I'm great, Paula. How are you? Spring's on its way, right?
It has just popped.
Yeah.
I know there's snow on the ground still, but seriously, spring is on its way. I know it is.
The flowers are going to be out soon. The daffodils are out in Ireland right now, which is a good sign.
There you go. Excellent. So today we're just going to really talk about some events that are coming up in the next week or so, and really get people excited that, you know what, it's time to get out and about again, isn't it?
Yeah, we love that at the Senior Center. I mean, obviously during the winter when we have a lot of snow, some folks might not be too comfortable leaving home and they just feel safer indoors. Luckily, this winter hasn't been too bad, but you know, we do notice on days when there's a lot of snow, there's not as much activity at the Senior Center. So we love spring because everybody's energized and it's the season of renewal and rejuvenation, and people tend to want to be more active and participate in whatever the activities might be. So the good news is, as you know, we always have a lot going on at the Senior Center for whatever people are interested in.
Right.
You know, we've got it covered.
And Tuesday starts a week of ukulele, which just the sing-along, we saw it at Christmas time. We went over and recorded it. This is probably like the happiest place you could possibly be.
You know, I kind of say when I hear the ukulele classes going on at the Senior Center, it's so hard. I just want to listen. I just want to sit in and I kind of want to join in on the fun. But there's really been a growing trend with ukulele lessons. I mean, not just in senior centers across the United States. I think it's kind of become a global thing. I saw a video on Facebook recently that had gone viral, and it was about 40 or 50 people sitting in a pub in Dublin, my hometown, playing ukulele, but they were playing like a Britney Spears song on the ukulele, and everybody was sitting around, people of all different ages, and it was just such a joyful, positive, fun thing. And for a lot of older people, I think they're really interested in ukulele lessons because it's, you know, pretty small as far as instruments go, and it's, you know, relatively simple to learn. And we have had a lot of new people come through our doors since we offered ukulele classes, and I think we have like 4 or 5 different ukulele lessons going on right now. But what's really great is that as the students are learning and becoming more confident, they're getting to practice in front of a live audience. So as you mentioned, we had like the holiday event, we had a ukulele sing-along. We did another one last year that was all music. The theme was like food, so it was, you know, spaghetti and meatballs and all these great songs, and everybody had just a great time. And so they're coming in to do a ukulele sing-along for St. Patrick's Day, which is going to be a great opportunity for people to come in. It's a free event. Kathy Hatch, who is one of our ukulele instructors, she coordinates the Cape Cod Ukulele Club. So people from all over the Cape that have learned and want to play as part of a group. It's a wonderful thing just to see everybody coming together, and some who've been performing for a long time and others that are really new to this. And you know, it's just it's a blast. It's really fun.
That's Tuesday, March 12th, 1:30 p.m. And then Tuesday also at 1:30, eBay.
Yes.
Big time to sell some of those things in your house or buy something new for your house, right?
Well,
so an eBay class, that's kind of cool.
It is, and for a lot of older people, you know, they're thinking sort of downsizing and decluttering and, you know, a lot of things that maybe they have amassed over the years that really might have some value that they don't really have any, you know, function or use for. And what a great way, you know, to make some money And we've had some people that have told us stories where they've actually been able to get rid of a lot of stuff if they're thinking of maybe downsizing or relocating and don't want to bring it all with them, that this has been a great way for them to offload that. So we thought it would be a really good opportunity to do an eBay class and help educate people that might be new to this or unfamiliar, as well as buying things. I know I've been able to get some great buys off eBay, and so it's relatively easy to do, but it's just getting people feeling confident, and so we're happy to offer that, and it's a free activity. So we've got a lot of people that have expressed interest in that, but we're still accepting sign-ups for that. But we have more eBay classes coming up over the next few months.
Excellent. And really the big event for next week, it's St. Patrick's
It
Day,
is.
Maddie.
Yeah, I know.
Salad.
Well, it means a lot to me, obviously. Being from right across the pond, and getting to celebrate a holiday that really has special meaning to me with all of our friends at the Senior Centre. It's great. Now, the St. Patrick's Day event is one of our longest traditions at the Senior Centre. It's been there way before I've been there, and I have to say, with a lot of the special events that we do year after year, this is the sellout. This is the event that sells out, and I will tell you why. It's because of our corned beef and cabbage that is cooked lovingly and expertly every year by Judy Red. She's our outreach and transportation coordinator at the Senior Centre, but she's got a lot of other special gifts and talents, and one of them is cooking an amazing corned beef and cabbage with all the trimmings. We've had people who have, they come back year after year for this event, and they tell us you won't find a better corned beef and cabbage.
Right, so they got to get registered like really quickly if they want to do this, right? It's 12 p.m. on Thursday, March 14th.
Yes.
$14, but definitely you got to get your reservations
Yeah, a
in.
few spots left. And the really nice thing about it, it's not just about the food. Obviously, we're celebrating, St. Patrick's Day, so it's just a fun, festive event. And we have Sean Murphy, who is a musician who's actually from Dublin, my hometown as well, who's lived on the Cape for a number of years. And he teaches tin whistle lessons at the Senior Centre, which is another thing. When I hear, between the ukulele and the tin whistle, when I hear the tin whistle, I feel like I'm back at home. And we've had a lot of people come in and learn that. And he brings some of his students in to perform at this event. So it's really authentic. I can't say the corned beef is authentic. As I said to you before, we don't really eat corned beef on St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, but it's great nonetheless. Everybody loves it. It's an Irish-American tradition for sure. It's a wonderful meal, dessert, great entertainment, and a whole lot of fun and camaraderie. And for $14, you can't beat it.
Right. And then Lyme disease. So we're, I know St. Patrick's Day, we're kind of switching gears here, but the Lyme disease presentation is really, really important for folks. Not a lot of people understand that ticks are everywhere. You don't have to walk miles in the woods to get ticks or a tick bite. So this presentation comes up on Wednesday, March 13th. Definitely some treatment options if they've had Lyme.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is really education and prevention. I mean, I think here in the Cape, we're particularly at risk for Lyme disease. You want to go out for a nice walk in the woods, and it seems very appealing, and it's good to get outdoors, but there are risks associated with that. So, it's really an opportunity through our partnership with Kindred Health, who come in and do a lot of health and wellness topics at the Senior Centre, really just to educate and, talk about the symptoms that people may be experiencing and what are some of the treatment options. So it's really the most up-to-date information that people have, and I know there's a lot of interest, whether it's personally that people may feel that they're at risk or have been exposed, or for family members. We want to make sure that we're getting as much education, information, and awareness out there. And this is a topic that, it's hard to avoid these days, particularly and especially at the spring when people are becoming more active outdoors. We felt it was good timing. And it's a free workshop.
Free workshop, Wednesday, March 13th, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And then just a quick look the following week. What's coming up?
Oh, there's a lot of different things. We're actually working right now on our April-May issue of our Compass magazine. For a lot of people that may not be aware, we've been doing a lot of outreach to the community to let people know that the Barnstable Senior Centre, back in October, we started offering evening programs, which are open to adults of all ages. So although the Senior Centre is a 50-plus facility during the day, in the evening we felt, why not bring all of our generations together and have some great activities and programs. So we've got a lot of fitness classes, art classes. There's always something going on. And like I said, a lot of different activities coming up. I know March 29th, we're working with the Vet Centre. I think this is the third year that We have hosted the Vietnam Veterans Recognition Ceremony that they have put together. They needed, the event has grown every year, and they needed a large space, so they had reached out to us a couple of years ago. And President Obama had declared March 29th as Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day. And it's been amazing over the last couple of years to hear the veterans come in and share their stories. It's been a very emotional, personal and intimate experience, even though we've had almost 200 people that have participated in the event. So we're really looking forward to being able to work with the Vet Centre again this year. So if anybody wants information on any of the activities at the Senior Centre, you know, give us a call, 508-862-4750. Check out our website. We're always excited to see new faces coming in our door and welcome people. You know, we've seen a lot of new faces come through, and it's great for us to be able to build new relationships.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Happy St.
You're
Patrick's
welcome,
Day.
and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Dragonflies are powerful and agile flyers, capable of migrating across the sea, moving in any direction, and changing direction suddenly. A flea's legs are long, the hind pair well adapted for jumping. A flea can jump vertically up to 7 inches and horizontally up to 13 inches, making the flea one of the best jumpers of all known animals, relative to body size, second only to the froghopper. We learn more about both of these amazing insects with our favorite entomologists on the new episode of Bug Buzz.
Hi, I'm Larry Dapsis. I'm the entomologist with Cape Cod Cooperative Extension, and I'm with my bug buddy,
Gabrielle Sokolsky with Cape Cod Mosquito Control.
and welcome to this segment of Bug Buzz, where Gabby and I will bring a couple creatures to your attention that maybe you've seen before, maybe you haven't, and we're going to tell you some really interesting facts about how these different creatures make their lifestyle and fit into the whole system. So what are you bringing to the party today, Gabby?
Oh, today I'm going to talk about dragonflies and damselflies.
Dragonflies, so cool, so cool.
They are. Oh, they're one of my favorites. And I know in some of the other episodes I said I wasn't going to talk about anything pretty, but thank you.
But I'll balance it today with something
exactly.
unpretty.
Exactly. We have to have at least one. So anyway, I'm going to talk about dragonflies today, and dragonflies, damselflies. They're beautiful. They come in all different colors. You see them all through the summertime. We had a few nice warm days. It made me think of summer, made me think of dragonflies. There are about 5,000 species worldwide, and here on Cape Cod, we've got a little over 100 species that have been identified. There are a few really good books. Virginia Carpenter and Blair Nicula have books out. Easy to identify your different
Dragonflies of Cape Cod.
Yes, great books, nice diagrams, nice graphics, and just a pair of binoculars, and you could be out watching dragonflies.
Yeah, like bird watching.
Or more fun than bird
Exactly.
watching. Just saying. Dragonflies and damselflies are very similar. The dragonflies are the ones with the wings that can't fold, and the damselflies are the ones with the wings that do fold behind their backs. They go through incomplete metamorphosis. So the adults will lay their eggs, and sometimes you can see them laying their eggs, kind of dipping their abdomen into the pond or wherever they're laying their eggs in the summertime. Then the eggs hatch, and you've got the naiads. They look a lot like the adult dragonflies, no wings, and they've got gills because they live underwater.
Exactly.
They'll live there for up to 6 years, depending on food sources. They're ferocious predators under there.
They are incredible predators.
They are.
So, and they have a special design for how they acquire their prey.
So I've got to say that this is what makes dragonflies my favorite insects. Dragonflies and damselflies are in the order Odonata, which means literally in Greek tooth. And what they have on their face and their mouth parts is that cupped mouth part. And they're predators, and they use that mouth part to go around and scoop up their prey. You can look on YouTube. There are tons of videos. And what do they like to eat? Any other insects they come into contact with, especially mosquitoes. Oh.
Or even little fish.
Little fish. Some of the big ones.
They're so fast at grabbing those.
It's amazing to watch. And in the air, same thing. Same thing as they're flying through the air, grabbing up anything that they want to feed on.
So it'd be like a person using their jaw to reach a sandwich that's 4 feet across the table.
It is. It's amazing to watch. You definitely should look it up. So I find them fascinating because they feed on mosquitoes. And they take care of the mosquito problem to some degree, not enough that it would take care of them completely. Now, one of the things that's interesting when you watch them fly is that Dragonflies are some of the most primitive insects.
The first flying
They are.
creature
They're
on the
first,
planet.
Exactly. They find in fossil records dragonflies up to 300 million years ago. They look a lot like the dragonflies of today, except for so cool. They have wingspans of maybe 3 feet. It was a different time then. Dragonflies flying around dinosaurs, very cool. So anyway, dragonflies, they're my favorite.
They are, and one of the things about them, they are a very good indicator of water quality.
They are. They are. There are a number of different insects that live in the water, and dragonflies are one of them that are sensitive because they're feeding on other insects that might feed on or be exposed to different contaminants.
Okay, so while you didn't intend to bring a cute and cuddly insect to the table today, I'm going to balance that off because today we're going to talk about fleas, okay? And you and I have had direct experience with flea problems.
We have. This summer was very frustrating. I was texting Larry this summer, you got to talk me off the ledge. I've got a flea problem and it's driving me crazy.
Sure, and even for professional entomologists like us, it's a struggle. So that's why I wanted to kind of talk about it today. So one of the things that's interesting about fleas is and their impact on human civilization. So fleas were responsible for the Black Plague, which came in 3 different waves, but the most significant one was back in the mid-1300s in Europe, where it's estimated that 25% to maybe half the population of Europe died over a period of 5 years. Now, bubonic plague has not gone away. In fact, in the early 1900s, we had an outbreak in San Francisco, and there are cases that occur California and Texas, Louisiana, but most of them in present day are in Madagascar. But if you look at the historical records in the arts depicting what was happening in the mid-1300s, it is just amazing to look at the artwork that was created during that period. One of the things people are kind of familiar with is that the flea's ability to jump. And if you look at those fleas and look at the hind legs, the way they're structured, the biomechanics of these things are simply incredible. And a flea can jump perhaps 10 or 12 inches, okay? And that would be, Gabby, like you doing a standing broad jump over 4 football fields. So that's pretty impressive stuff. So how do we start to look at whether or not we're having a problem, okay? If you have a pet and they're doing a lot of scratching around their neck and their ears, or they're chewing, you know, the base of their tail, as Seth Meyers says, it's time for a closer look. Everybody that's a pet owner with fur should have a flea comb, okay? So those that have tines that are very close together. And you have to start looking through your animal's fur. Now, you might not see the adult fleas because if you look at them from the top, they're very, very skinny. And they're pretty fast. They can run through that fur as easily as a person can run through a patch of woods, okay? So there's no encumbrance for them. So you take that comb and you go through the fur and you just might come across what seems to be dirt, okay? Flea dirt, we call it. And the way you can tell the difference between flea dirt, which is basically undigested blood that the flea excretes, how do you tell that from real dirt? Well, you take that suspected flea dirt, put it on a damp paper towel, and if it turns reddish brown, that's blood, okay? So that is a flea infestation. So one of the things you got to consider is treating your pet first with the good old flea bath. Now a pooch, they don't seem to mind that so much.
Nope.
I mean, they're pretty easygoing about
My lab loves a bath.
Exactly, especially when they get the chance to shake and,
Yep.
and get the owner all wet.
Yep.
Well, when I had the problem, it was with a cat. And when I gave her the bath, the sound she made it seem like I was murdering her, okay? But you have to basically start with the pet. And now you got to kind of look at, you know, the household and then even your yard. And treating a house, those fleas lay eggs that are larvae down in the carpet pile or in pet bedding. and they're feeding on hair and flea dirt and crumbs of food, and those things will develop into an adult flea in about 2 or 3 weeks. So that's why your problem seemed to explode from just a few creatures. Now, if you look at the larvae, they're very tiny. You're not going to see them. In fact, there's one under a pencil point. That's how small they are. And so there's a variety of products that are available for treating the house, okay? One of the things I will tell you up front is don't go for those room foggers, okay? The bug bombs.
No.
That is the most inefficient way to apply an insecticide that I can think of. It's not going to get under furniture, it's not going to get behind drapes, it's not going to penetrate into pet bedding. Pet bedding you should wash anyway. But there's a number of products that I have an inside track at Petco. This person lent me these products. That inside track person
Somebody
is
close to you.
my wife Ruth
Yes.
and stuff. So courtesy of Petco, we have a variety of different things. So we have, aerosols for spot treatment and around furniture, a number of water-based pump sprays. They contain insecticides that are very safe, pyrethroid insecticides, but also, most of the time, an insect growth regulator. So oftentimes you see that it'll have a label claim that controls fleas for 7 months.
Right, and that's a key, what you just said. Always read the label if you're using pesticide.
Exactly, and if you want to determine how effective your program is, the best way to monitor for fleas is walk around in a pair of long white socks, because that motion is going to activate them to jump on you. Pretty easy to see. Now the other product that's not water-based at all are these dusts or powders. This is a product that I would consider if I had like a carpet that had a very thick pile. This ensures that this is going to get down deep in the pile and effectively control the problem. One of the things that's interesting about fleas that we'll wrap up with is that we have a number of amateur entomologists that have made major contributions, particularly groups like butterflies that people find fascinating and a lot of conservation efforts. Well, the world's expert on fleas is an amateur entomologist, Miriam Rothschild, of the Rothschild banker family, $2 trillion net worth. And so she studied fleas for years. She got this bug from her dad, who was also an entomologist, amateur, and he amassed the biggest collection of fleas in the world. It's in the Royal Museum. And she spent years cataloging, an illustrated catalog to this. And so as an amateur, Miriam, she published 350 papers, mostly on fleas, but some on mollusks, and she was a botanist as well. And she was a very active amateur until the age of 96, when she passed away in 2005. I think even as entomologists, we would have found her fascinating to meet under any circumstances. So hats off to Miriam and all the good work she did. So if you have any questions at all about flea control, definitely give me a call. There's a number of products that you can use to put on your pet, like collars and topicals. I have a video. If you go to capecodeextension.org/ticks, we have a video of pet protection products that I did as an interview with our state entomologist, Katie Brown. So if you go to that, you're going to get a lot of good guidance, because before you do anything with your pet directly, you should always talk to your veterinarian.
Definitely.
And so with that, this is a wrap for this segment of Bug Buzz. Gabby and I are looking forward to coming back again with another couple very interesting creatures. So stay tuned.
Up next, things to do, places to go, and people to meet. Lace up those sneakers and join fitness instructor Bob Fantaroni and get in shape for spring activities. This new walking group will keep you motivated with companionship and support. Bring a pal and meet in the Barnstable Senior Lobby every Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Here are the upcoming meetings for boards, commissions, and committees. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Email us or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.